Imagine you have no cranes, no computers, no steel, no machinery of any kind. Now someone walks up to you and says, "Hey, I need you to stack 2.3 million stone blocks, some weighing as much as a school bus, perfectly aligned with the stars in the middle of a desert. Oh, and finish it in 20 years. You'd laugh, right? But here's the thing. Someone did it 4,500 years ago, and to this day, with all our satellites, supercomputers, and engineering, we still can't fully explain how. Today, we're going inside the greatest mystery on Earth. And trust me, by the end of this video, you will never look at the pyramids the same way again. Okay, so before we get into the mind-blowing stuff, let's quickly cover what mainstream history tells us. The Great Pyramid of Giza was built around 2560 BC, that's roughly 4,500 years ago, for Pharaoh Khufu. It stood 146 meters tall for over 3,800 years as the tallest man-made structure on Earth. Think about that. Nothing humans built surpassed it for almost 4,000 years. It contains an estimated 2.3 million stone blocks, weighing between 2.5 to 80 tons each. The base is so perfectly level that the difference across its entire 230-meter length is less than 2 centimeters. Modern engineers struggle to match that precision. And here's where it starts getting strange. We've never found a single piece of evidence. No hieroglyphs, no records, no paintings inside the Great Pyramid that says Khufu was here or we built this. Nothing. So, officially we know who built it and when. But the how, that's where things get really, really interesting. Let's talk about the math for a second, because this is where your brain starts to hurt. To finish the pyramid in 20 years, workers would have had to place one 2.5-ton block every 2 minutes. Day and night, no breaks for 20 straight years. Every single day. Now, the official theory says 100,000 workers built it using ramps and sledges. But here's the problem. If you used a straight ramp to reach the top, that ramp would need to be longer than the pyramid itself and would require more material to build than the pyramid. You'd essentially be building 2 pyramids, and we found zero evidence of such a ramp existing. So how did they get those blocks up? Some engineers suggest a spiral ramp on the outside. Others say an internal ramp system. And actually, in 2007, French architect Jean-Pierre Houdin used 3D modeling software to show that an internal spiral corridor could have worked perfectly. But here's the kicker. We've never been able to fully scan the inside of the pyramid, not even with modern technology. Actually, wait. In 2017, scientists used cosmic ray moon imaging, basically X-raying the pyramid with particles from outer space, and discovered a hidden void the size of an airplane hangar inside the Great Pyramid, a massive secret chamber that we didn't know about in 2024. So yeah, we're still discovering new things about a structure that's 4,500 years old. Now this is where it gets genuinely eerie. In 1994, researcher Robert Bauval noticed something extraordinary. The 3 pyramids of Giza, they're not in a straight line. One of them is slightly offset, and for years people thought it was just a mistake or a design choice. But Bauval mapped them against the night sky and realized the 3 pyramids perfectly mirror the 3 stars of Orion's belt. Same positions, same offset, same pattern. And the 2 large pyramids align almost exactly to true north. Not magnetic north, but actual geographic north, with an accuracy of just 0.05 degrees. For comparison, the Paris meridian, built thousands of years later with advanced tools, is 6 times less accurate than the Great Pyramid's alignment. But here's the theory that really makes you think. If you calculate where Orion's belt appeared in the sky, not in 2560 BC, but in 10,500 BC, the alignment becomes even more perfect, which would push the origin of the pyramid design back by 8,000 years, to a civilization we have absolutely no record of. Is this a coincidence? A mathematical quirk? Or did someone, thousands of years before the pharaohs, understand astronomy at a level we're only now beginning to appreciate? All right, this is the part you came for. Let's go through the big theories. I'll tell you what's interesting, what's ridiculous, and what honestly might not be so ridiculous. Theory 1, the lost civilization theory. This one says the pyramids weren't built by ancient Egyptians at all, but by a far older, far more advanced civilization that was wiped out, possibly by a massive flood or catastrophe around 10,000 to 12,000 BC. Author Graham Hancock has pushed this theory hard, pointing to the Younger Dryas impact event, a real scientifically documented catastrophe around 12,800 years ago that caused massive flooding and extinction worldwide. His argument? A civilization that advanced would leave monuments. And maybe these are those monuments. Mainstream archaeology rejects this, but the debate is very much alive. Theory 2, the sound/frequency theory. Some researchers believe the Egyptians used sound resonance to move the massive blocks, essentially using vibrations to reduce friction or even levitate objects. Sounds insane? Well, modern physicists have actually demonstrated acoustic levitation in lab conditions, using sound waves to suspend objects in midair. And here's something strange. The King's Chamber inside the Great Pyramid has near-perfect acoustic resonance properties. It hums at specific frequencies. Some researchers say this isn't accidental. Theory 3, the water hydraulics theory. This one is fascinating and surprisingly logical. Engineer Edward Kunkel proposed that the Egyptians used the Nile's water through a system of canals and hydraulic chambers to literally float the stone blocks up inside the pyramid as it was being built. Water rises, blocks float, you guide them into position. And there is evidence of watermarks on the Giza plateau suggesting the area was flooded at some point in ancient history. Theory 4, the alien theory. Okay, I had to include it. The idea that extraterrestrials helped build, or outright built, the pyramids is probably the most famous alternative theory in human history. Most serious researchers dismiss it, not because it's impossible, but because it's the lazy answer. It basically says humans couldn't have done this, so aliens did, which kind of insults our ancestors. But here's what's interesting. Why do pyramid structures appear on nearly every continent? Egypt, Mexico, Cambodia, China, Sudan, Peru. Cultures that had zero contact with each other, all building massive pyramid structures, all aligned with astronomical events. Coincidence? Cultural parallel evolution? Or something else? Here's something most people don't talk about. What's actually inside the pyramid? The interior design makes no sense for a tomb. The Grand Gallery, a massive core-belled corridor inside, has 27 pairs of slots cut into its walls. Nobody knows what they held. Some researchers think they held giant beams that acted as a counterweight or mechanical system. The King's Chamber has no decorations, no hieroglyphs, no paintings. For a culture that painted everything, their tombs, their walls, their pottery, this is bizarre. The coffer, the stone box inside the King's Chamber that supposedly held Khufu's body, was never found with a body or a lid. It's too big to fit through the entrance passage, meaning it had to be placed there during construction. And here's a detail that blows my mind every time. The ventilation shafts in the King's Chamber point with laser precision towards specific stars. Orion's belt and Thuban, the North Star of ancient Egypt. These aren't air shafts for workers. These are astronomical alignments, built into the core of a stone mountain. Why? We genuinely don't know. So here's where we land. The pyramids are real, the precision is real, the mystery is real, whether you believe it was 100,000 incredibly skilled workers with ropes and ramps, a lost ancient civilization, advanced acoustic technology, or something we haven't even theorized yet. The fact remains, we built nothing like this for the next 3,800 years after it was completed. That's not a small thing. That's a civilization hitting a peak, and then humanity collectively forgetting how they did it. Maybe the answer is simple and we're overcomplicating it. Or maybe the answer is so big, so world-changing, that the people who know it aren't ready to tell us yet. I'll let you decide. If this video made you think, and I really hope it did, hit that like button because it genuinely helps this channel grow. And drop in the comments, what theory do you believe? I'll see you in the next one. Stay curious.